TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
Jared, hey, we're gonna need you to tone it down with the Summer Friday thing, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, for one, it's not summer anymore.
Oh, really?
Coconut. Also, who is this?
I'm the caddy.
Oh, he's my intern.
Sorry, intern. I'm his intern.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No golfing in the office, okay? Summer Fridays are over. You can keep the Hawaiian shirt, but the rest of this stuff, all right? Are you grilling?
Oh, yeah. Did you want a burger or a hot dog?
No, grilling in the office.
That's a good point. We should take this outside.
No, that don't. You put that right back down.
Yo, it's all in the hips.
Oh, dude, come on, we gotta go. Let's go.
Whoa, how about this? There we go. Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it is the Breakfast Bankroll with, of course, Andrew McInnis, Tuesday, October 29th, 2024, November. Just a couple days away, knocking on the door, and it's a little cool. We get that crisp air feeling back here in Cape Cod. Pulled the ACs out yesterday, pulled all my summer stuff off the deck, and well, for most of it, and we're getting ready for fall/winter here back east. Shout out to our proud sponsors and partnership, of course, it's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play, download that app, it's free. Travis, Zach, myself, Amber, Holly, Jay, the rest of the crew will take good care of you, I promise. Viva Tequila Seltzer, new commercial. Shout out to CT Bets and Coconut. The East Coast is cuckoo for coconut. And Atlanta Steak and Seafood. Terry Smith on yesterday morning, excuse me. Head on over to Facebook. Go follow Terry Smith. And while you're there, head on over to Atlanta Steak and Seafood. Promo code this week, Steaks 10% off anything on the menu there. So without further ado, let's bring in the one and only Mr. Andrew McInnis. Morning, Andrew.
Good morning. How are things?
I have a gentleman outside fixing my back window. Long story. Smashed on my way up to the BC game on Friday. So let's just say crazy things happen. How's that sound?
You're safe though. Nothing too bad.
Nothing too bad. No. Expect the unexpected and crazy things happen. How about yourself? How was your weekend?
It was good. You talking about that crisp in the air, Jeff. Went to a real nice part of where I live and just got to do some hiking, some walking. I went to a cool Halloween haunted trail, they call it. They put in a ton of work. They planned it for months, set up this little area, and I went there when I was younger, and I'll tell you what, it might not have been as scary as when I was younger, but it was still just as cool, the work that they put into it, and got to see some family and got to watch some games. And my Habs, 2 wins in a row for the first time in what feels like years at this point. We'll see if they can make it 3 in a row today, but overall, it was a pretty good weekend.
It's funny. I was connecting with a long time ECSI, member, family member. I call him now. I mean, we debuted in 15. I think he's been with us since 6 months into this journey as we come up on 10 years. We talk about the marathon. We talk about trying to keep everyone off that roller coaster, and it's going to happen. Fast starts, bumps in the road. I always talk on Twitter. Everyone wants to know your immediate record. Every one of our plays has been documented. We pay an accountant who tracks all our plays for almost 10 years now. So my point is, timing is everything in life, especially in our business. I'd rather jump on someone after let's say a 2-8 run versus an 18-1 run. Good, bad, 3-0, up 2.5, 3 units going into Sunday. You've seen our alerts. It's quicksand Sunday. You be the judge. We had the sports equinox yesterday. All of them played. Starting on Monday, you add college basketball to the mix. How do you manage it?
It's a lot. It is certainly a lot, Jeff. I mean, and you talk about managing the alerts and managing things that go out. And I sent you a text yesterday about the NFL game. And I did a 40-minute show with Andy Lang from Wager Talk, talking mostly all props. And I sent you a text saying, Jeff, I like a lot of props tonight, but I can't find which one I like the most. So I didn't end up releasing any of them to my clients because they deserve the best. And especially in a market like football, where it's just so difficult to win with high volume, you want to pick that one you like the best. And I couldn't figure out which one it was. And I went back and I looked at some of the picks I gave on the show, and some of them won and some of them lost. So who knows which one I would have picked as that favorite one, but there's a reason why I left them off the board, I guess. And that's the thing is, with the NBA, for me, I'm not a huge NBA guy as far as sports betting. I do like the team totals. I'm going to wait. You talk about waiting to see some information and get some data. The NBA is the ultimate league for that. Like, I got off to a hot start in NHL and things have leveled out now. But I think the NBA is the ultimate league where, at least for me, I want to sit out, relax, watch the league for a bit, see how things are going. But I did dip my toes back into the World Series, and looks like I should just keep complaining about how non-competitive it is on Twitter, because that's exactly what it is, Jeff. It's non-competitive.
Well, it's funny. We went 1-2 in the ECSI VIPs yesterday. We get the Panthers team total over. We had the Lightning score 2 in the first, scored a third goal 5 minutes into the second period that was eventually waved off. And in comes Nashville, ties it 2-2 heading to the third. And you can tell, Ian, through some of these games, these teams are going to start to play grab ass. Once it gets to that 10-minute mark, and you look at the live number, and when it's telling you the under-over is 5.5, under minus 500-600, I'm like, this is going to overtime. Someone's winning 3-2. This early in the year, are these teams really concentrating on each bear hugging each other, getting a point, and seeing who wins in overtime or a shootout?
It's unbelievable. Jeff, I will say this. I had the under in that game, the Tampa and Nashville game, and the goaltending was unbelievable. Like, I was watching that whole game. I'm not patting myself on the back because I think that, that game, whether it was Nashville or Tampa Bay, one of those teams deserved to get their team total, I'd say. One of them. Like, both goalies played tremendous. And Saros is, it kind of, when I watched that game last night, just from a hockey talk perspective, it made me really think, like, imagine if Saros played for the New York Rangers. Imagine if Saros played for the Boston Bruins. How much more are we talking about UC Saros if he didn't play for the Nashville Predators? I mean, Pekka Rinne, and then now they have UC Saros, and nobody really gives this guy enough credit because he plays in Nashville. The saves he made yesterday, it was crazy. I mean, you definitely should have hit. There was a way that you could have won 4-2 and we both would have gone home happy, and that game wasn't intense. But to answer your question, I truly believe the answer is yes. I really do. Because at this point, teams are kind of close to that 10-game mark right now. Nobody wants to let it slip away. So then I think it's kind of more so one of those things that once you get to that 25-30 game mark, then you're just kind of going for the 2 points. But at this point, every single team believes that they're still there. You look at the Atlantic Division right now. The Atlantic Division, which is, of course, the division that you and I are closest to, it is absolutely insane. I mean, you've got the Florida-based teams at the top, and then you've got pretty much every other team that's 4-4-1, 5-4-1. Yesterday, I think there were 4 teams that had a 4-4-1 record. And without looking, I think it was Toronto, Montreal, Buffalo, and Detroit. I think those were the teams that it were. So it's just it's incredible. And I'm not sure I'm a fan of the overtime loss point system, how all that stuff works, but I guess when it comes down to it, maybe you should get rewarded in some way for reaching overtime. I just don't like that when you look at it at the end of the year, you got some teams that have like 13 overtime loss points, and that's how they're getting their points,
For the Bruins, listen, the locals have been real hard. This is a coach, Jim Montgomery, on his final year of a contract. And usually when coaches go into a final year, we call it dead man walking. The Bruins have not gotten off to a fast start, which they have in the last couple of years, especially under Montgomery. Little coach grabbing Marchand, and Marchand manned up and he goes, listen, I deserved it. I mean, if we're not performing and I'm not performing, then I deserve it. The professional paid athletes, insert the Toronto Maple Leafs, who just happen to pop in front of the Bruins every time the shit is going down. And never mind if it's a playoff series, because we know the Bruins will win in 7, or whoever plays Toronto will win in 7. It's just the way it is. Toronto came in the same thing, struggling. This high-powered octane offense, just where is it? And then when they do score 5, they give up 6. Bruins win in overtime there. Thoughts on Bruins Leafs moving forward?
Well, I had you in the back of my head yesterday living rent-free because I released Maple Leafs money line, and of course they easily coast to their team total over. But yesterday I wanted to just stick to them winning. I didn't want to complicate it any more than I had to with them winning, but of course they put up 4 goals like it's nobody's problem. But the thing is with this Leafs team, what I'll go backwards for a second, Jeff. I said at the start of the year the Maple Leafs win point total under. People looked at me and said, "Well, you don't think they're going to be a good team this year?" And I said they might be better in the playoffs than they were last year. They might make the second round this year. Does not mean they're going to win more games in the regular season. And the big thing for me is the coaching staff. It takes time to implement their beliefs. It takes time to implement their defensive systems. It takes time to change the lines that they like. But I also say you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink. And we're going to find out how those guys do. What makes Tampa Bay so special, what makes some of these great teams so special over the past few years is that when Columbus comes to town, Kucherov can't wait to kick their ass. Kucherov can't wait to win by 5 goals. When Columbus comes to town, Toronto can't wait to go to a nice restaurant after the game's over, and they don't even show up for the game. And you look at the games that they've won this year, beating teams like New Jersey, beating that the most recent game, I guess, against Winnipeg. Like there's been some real solid gains for them. And you look at the Boston Bruins right now, I feel like it's actually a little bit the opposite. They're the team right now beating the teams that they should beat, but whenever they play a team that's like 50-50, I know they got that OT win that you're mentioning, but they're a team that they're struggling when they have to take that step up in competition. But I think they'll figure that out. But ultimately, I'm curious your thoughts on this, Jeff. Why does nobody blame the GM or the ownership? Because you do actually, you have. But why do the public not do it? Because you've always said once it was Tuukka Rask, then it's going to be Swayman or Allmark. But If we pulled up Daily Face-Off right now and looked at the lineup for this Boston Bruins team, if they didn't have the Bruins logo on the front chest and they had a, Utah Hockey Club jersey on, I would say that they're just okay. Just okay.
It's funny because I always say this in life, we're like tea bags. We only start working when we're in hot water. And for Sweeney, his blunder, it seems like a million years ago when he had those first two picks in the first round, and he blew them. And then they're drafting a guy late in the first round, and people get him for the second and third rounds. And every time his job was on the line, it's almost like Sweeney and Cam are a tandem. Whenever they were able to point to someone else, whether it was the coach, whether it was the goalie, and they have survived. And then in comes Montgomery, President's Cup, bow out in the first round, win a round. With the Jacobs, it was always where I'm sitting now, perched high above ice, or I like to say courtside, of course. Just get us into the playoffs. Why? Because, when you own the concession stand, I just want fannies in the seat. Just get us into the playoffs, And so he's been able to deflect every year when there's been an isolated problem, and it's himself. And so those two have been able to survive. The next person to go will be Montgomery. And whether it is December 1st, January 1st, or at the end of the year, they will move in another direction, and Sweeney and Cam will buy another 2 years. It's been like this for a long time. And listen, it's almost, Andrew, like the banana in the tailpipe. And it's the owner who probably doesn't give a rat's ass because they're making money.
Yeah.
And it's the fans that are sitting and suffering now.
Well, and the thing is, as you talked about with the ownership, like in the whole like making the money thing, is that eventually people are going to realize what's going on, because it's. I like what Brad Marchand said, and he's kind of been nice about the Leafs recently. I don't really know why, but he said, "Hey, look, we beat the Leafs in 7 last year. We didn't show up for the second round, right? And that's not enough anymore. It's not enough for the team. It's not enough for the fan base." And I saw a funny tweet. I'm not sure who it was that tweeted this out, but they said that Craig Berube, John Tavares and Nylander and those guys are going to be there on the team longer than Craig Berube will, right? And you think about it for the Boston Bruins. All of these guys are going to be there longer than Jim Montgomery. Of course, you can't fire 20 players, but you can fire the coach. It's the old expression, right? But I'm a big believer that sometimes you have to make a move. You have to make a move to shock the team. People often call firing a coach shocking the team. Well, if you're a kind of team that changes your coach every 3 years, like look at what happened to Bruce Cassidy. They won the Stanley Cup the year after he left. And you know, Jeff, that Jim Montgomery's going somewhere else right after he gets fired too, right? He's not losing a job for a while. If he wants to coach, he'll be able to coach.
There's no doubt, and I'm glad you brought it up that way too, is the fact that that's the first move. Fire the coach, shock the team, wake up the team. But I always say this, who's out there? What are you going to move, an intern? What are you going to move, an intern coach? What are you going to do, move the guy from Providence up? And so when everyone turns to fire the coach, if the Dodgers go on to sweep the Yankees, or whatever it is, whether it's in 5, 6, or whatever, the first words out of everyone is fire Boone, fire Boone. This is a Dave Roberts that everyone's wanted to fire for the last 10 years, however long it's been. Get to the playoffs, best record, can't win the NLDS or CS, never mind the World Series. Roberts has probably managed and coached his best in his career, in his lifetime, the last 30 days. And now he's got a bullpen game going today. And listen, you talked about the Yankees, and I'm now switching over here, trying to compare the two. It's not like the Yankees haven't been in position. They just can't hit right now. And it only takes one. I was with Adam Kaufman last night on 680 WRKO talking about the World Series last night. And you get to the big dance, your guys got to perform or someone has to step up. Come back to the Bronx last night, down 2-0. Crowd's going electric. That guy that was on to start the rapper, OMG, you should have been playing Sinatra before that. But my point is, first inning, you want to get a goose egg and get your bats up. Get the big bats up. Let's put a crooked number. Let's keep the crowd there. One mistake, Freddie Freeman, fastball inside, 2-0. The crowd's dead, and the Yankees couldn't do anything.
Just like that.
2004, the Sox were down 3-0, and Dave Roberts stole a base, and the rest is history. We go on to beat the Yankees 4 straight and then win the World Series. Are the Yankees going to come back and win 4 in a row? Probably not. But I'll just say this. The World Series is not over. Baseball, it only takes one inning, as you talk about, firing a coach and jump-starting a team. That's what it is right now. And they could get swept, and they could be golfing tomorrow. They're going to want to fire Boone. But that's sports. These are paid multi-millionaires, and they're not performing right now.
And I will say, too, the other side of the coin is also even like, it's like you mentioned, Jeff, you could be in the World Series and lose your job. And it's not because you did a really bad job. It's because you didn't win. Mm-hmm. There's a difference, right? You didn't do a bad job, but you didn't do the best job you could have. So you're gone, and it's time to try somebody new. Look at all these like high end, like you're a college sports guy, college basketball, all these high end schools that make it to the dance every year, make it to the round of 32 every year, Sweet 16 maybe even, and they fire their coach. You know why? Because they were projecting themselves to make it to the Elite Eight. So, hey, you might be saying from the outside perspective, hey, we made the Sweet 16. The school and the program is saying, no, you should have made the Elite Eight. That's why we're getting fired. So it's all about perspective, I guess, right?
It is. We only have a handful of minutes because I know you have another show. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to go to a 2-second commercial break, and then we're going to go to some pick, props, and thoughts for you in the last 4 minutes. Maybe you have something on the board for everyone here to get their Tuesday started. Bear with us. We'll be right back. Andrew, 7 hockey games on the board. I put on the headliner, Broad Street Bullies invade Causeway Street as Philadelphia comes into Boston. Overnight number of 190, now 195 on the Bruins. Like, as you said, a game they expect to win, but 7 games on the board. Any games, any team totals, any leans, any props? It's early in the morning that you might have for everyone watching and listening.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the Bruins right now winning games they should win, and kind of struggling against those games where they're stepping up in class a little bit here. I saw that game for the Habs against the Flyers, and you also look at the Flyers game against the Wild that they had. Both games, a ton of chances. So I'm going to kind of throw a curveball and think that both teams are going to enter this game looking for some defense, Jeff. So I think I might see some TD God and defense tonight. We'll go for the under 6 in this one. Flyers and Bees, a little bit of a contrarian play. And one more I wanted to throw out there actually here. We talk a lot this year about streaks, right? I've been talking a lot about not wanting to go against them. I broke my rule last night, and we were right with the Maple Leafs over the Jets. But we're gonna go ahead and take the St. Louis Blues team total up and over. I tweeted out to kind of get the crowd going a little bit about the fact that the Ottawa Senators have reached the 4-goal mark in 5 of their last 6 games. Well, I tried this last night with the Canucks, and it's the exact same price, and I really believe I had the right call there. Really believe I did. Plus 170, St. Louis Blues to get to 4 goals. Over 3.5 team total. I like that price. Senators, it's an unsuccessful road trip, so they won't be happy coming home. I still believe. The Blues played on Saturday night in Montreal. They've got Sunday, they've got all day Monday, they're relaxing, wake up today, they got a game. They're going to score some goals tonight in Ottawa, I think.
Andrew, the scroll has been going the whole time. Everyone knows, of course, to follow you on Twitter at McInnis Picks or X, whatever we're calling it. And of course, jump on over to YouTube and subscribe to his YouTube channel at McInnis Picks. While you're there, head on over to East Coast Sports Investors and subscribe there as well. It's Tuesday, $5 Tuesday. Tell everyone what you have behind the wall at Wager Talk.
Yeah, you nailed it there, Jeff. $5 Tuesday, and also right now we have a special going. Pick a sport, NBA or NHL, but as you guys know, for me, it's mostly NHL. $149 for the month. $149 for a month of all my plays, and obviously a fresh month is just starting. Full transparency, we are minus 0.5 units. We are pretty much dead even on the season. I'm not going to complain. You know, I wish it was better, but we had a red hot start. And thank goodness for that. Things leveled out. Now we're dead even. Looking forward to a big night tonight on the ice. So thanks a lot, Jeff. Look forward to always coming on.
Andrew, have a blessed day. Enjoy your next show. We'll be in touch throughout the week. Okay, my brother?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Take care. The one and only Andrew McInnis. Please go follow him at McInnis Picks. Head on over to Wager Talk. $5 Tuesday. Instead of getting that Dunkin' Donuts today or that Starbucks coffee, head on over to Wager Talk for just $5. Get Andrew's best play of the day. I'm going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up. Stay tuned. TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way, with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop, come on, baby, higher.
All right, the rest of the day, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Noah Frank, Ryan Shanklin, Balls and Bow Ties will be here on the ECSI network. And potentially, I said potentially, Riley a little under the weather. The closing bell at 5 p.m. Myself and Riley will get you caught up in today's market before you head to the window and potentially invest in a few teams and sides and totals as well. Shout out to Richard. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And of course, Andrew McInnis at McInnis Picks and Wager Talk. I want everyone to enjoy the rest of the day. We can't do it without you guys. You know, it's that time of year. All the sports came together yesterday. We call it the sports equinox. And starting next Monday, NCAA basketball will start as well. So everyone, behave yourselves. You got to stay in your lane. Think smart. You know, wise money management, bankroll management. Just because it's on TV doesn't mean that we have to play the game, guys. Remember that, okay? It's a marathon. If you need a new pair of sneakers, head on over to your local, where you get your sneakers, Nike, Reebok, whatever. Enjoy the marathon with us because we're not going anywhere. And we hope to see you at 5 o'clock. And shout out, of course, to the one and only Mr. Russell Saylor as well. Everyone, have a blessed day, and we will see you soon.